So this is one that is near and dear to my heart because I feel like it challenges me, it calls on me, it pulls on me, not just me, every other person that I know. It's such just an everyday energy that you're constantly checking in with yourself. And most of us usually fail. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about when you give too much energy or you take on so much energy of somebody else because of whatever, fill in the blank. You are just giving too much. You're getting walked all over, or you don't realize and you're giving too much, or you're taking too much. There's a lot in both directions. So I feel like I don't know any one of my friends who doesn't talk about this. It's kind of in different conversations, hidden behind different words or phrases, but this is basically what it is. Welcome home, everybody, and that is to the Conscious Home podcast. I am your host, Blanche Garcia. Let's talk about energy. Energy is basically everything. Energy is the money that we see. It's the walls that we see. It's the vibration that we feel. It's food. It's words. It's music. It's everything. And you never heard it talked about as much back in the day, but it is literally everything, right? And we're realizing this. Like, you don't have to be a tree hugger, woo-woo, or listen to the Conscious Home podcast to understand that energy is everywhere and it is everything. And so there's a dynamic with it, especially in relationships. There is so much depth to how we exchange energy. It is not just, oh, you feel great, or I walked into the room and the energy changed. There's a lot more layers to it. Let me dive a little deeper into this. You have an energy field around you. And if you're aware enough, or if you follow the Conscious Home podcast, you will understand that there is a hygiene that has to happen for your energy to actually be in alignment. There are things that you have to stay away from because everything has energy. So there's low vibrational things and there's high vibrational things. Not that we can't live a human life. Like, we're here to have a human life, be our authentic selves. That is the truth, okay? And so if you think that you're supposed to be in a mountain, not around anybody and not partaking of what makes us human, you are in denial. That is not what spirituality is, and that's not what living is about. It is about being in human form and going through all the things. It is about being a kid and having your first beer. It's about all the things, the wrong decisions, the right decisions, and how you react to it and your choices in this life. That's what it is about. So when we have our own energy and our own sovereignty over our energy, there are ways that we can take things in to make it feel good and bring it of its highest vibration. It's like when you exercise, you go on a run, you're with people that you love, watching a funny movie. All these things are high vibrational things that you bring into your life. When you're in the low vibration, you feel it in the pit of your stomach. You literally get nauseous sometimes, or you're like, I don't feel good. A lot of things that are lower in vibrational frequency could be horror movies. Why? Because horror movies bring down your fear base and it anchors into fight or flight in a way. Some people like that because it's just kind of ingrained in them through just life and family, and there's a lot of reasons for it. But horror movies, alcohol, drugs, negativity, screaming, arguments, crime, murder, these are all low vibrational things. You can actually see those a mile away. You could say, oh yeah, that's probably not going to make me super happy and joyful, right? You could see those. The sneaky ones are the ones in the everyday. Those are the ones that are like a friend or a client or a coworker. It could be as simple as you go to your hairdresser, she does your hair, she's really good at it. But every time you go to her, she's constantly like, I'm a designer. So maybe my hairdresser, and she doesn't do this. I love my hairdresser, by the way. I'm going this week and she's amazing. But you go to your hairdresser, and if I'm a designer, she may say, oh my God, can I show you my space every time I go? Can you give me ideas on what to do with my house? And my boyfriend, and then she like trauma dumps, or she's asking me for like things, even though she's doing my hair and I'm paying her for that service. She sees this as an opportunity, whether she realizes it or not. She's pulling energy from me. She's like, can I, right? Oh, you don't mind if you just take a minute, right? And meanwhile, you're trying to be nice, but by being nice, it's that split decision that you did not put your boundary out. You didn't say, it's not like you have to be like, listen, bitch, I need you to stop talking, even though that's what you're feeling. What you really need to say is, I would love to help you, and this looks like a space that I feel like there's so much that can be done there. Let me give you my card, and if you're looking to kind of move forward, we can create a consultation, or we can blah, 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 blah. There are ways to answer that. And the simplistic way that this happens in the everyday is I'm talking to a girlfriend, and and they're telling me about their life. But when they're telling me about their life, it's always like about them. They never ask about me. They never are like, so what's going on in your life? Every time they're talking about their life, there is an energy pull. They're like, oh, and then this happened. And of course it was going to happen. And that never happens for, blah, blah, blah. And then there's a subtle, oh, but that wouldn't happen for you. Cause like, I feel like there's so much going on in your life. And it's like, see that really simple? My life isn't good enough. I'm actually jealous of your life, but I'm not going to tell you I'm jealous of your life. So I'm just going to throw it in a little dig. So what they did was they pulled your energy, they boomeranged it, right? Wrapped it around a tree and then slingshot it at you, wrapped up in woe is me. So now you're just like gaslit and you're like, what's going on? That conversation is going to stay with you because there's an energetic tie now that it has created. It's a connection they have formed with you and they're pulling energy from you. This happens in the everyday. This happens all the time without us realizing it. And it's the little decisions that you don't realize are your boundaries. As a culture, it's mostly women. Men do it too, but I think mostly women, where we give so much of ourselves and we don't realize that we're trying to be nice, and people will call it people pleasing or, oh, she's just trying to be nice. You're not honoring a boundary that you have. And it starts really young. It's really interesting because my daughter, she's 5 and she's learning life. This is her first time in this body. In this life, I get to help her out with the tools to understand how it works here on planet Earth. She may say to me something simple like, Johnny at school was pulling my hair. What would happen mostly, like our parents or the parents before us, they may say, it's okay. It just means he likes you. And then she starts learning that something that hurts or something that makes her feel bad is okay because the intention of the other person is that they really think you're pretty or they like you. So you should just swallow it and be okay with it and let it slide. And when we have sovereignty and when we honor our boundaries, what I try to tell her is, listen, Johnny may not have the tools yet to understand why he's doing what he's doing for whatever reason. And I'm sure Johnny is not intending to hurt you because Johnny is also 5, but it doesn't mean that you have to accept it. And he's not allowed to touch you that way in any way that you don't like. So next time Johnny does that, you can say to Johnny, hey, Johnny, I don't like that. That doesn't feel good to me. Do not put your hands on me. If that keeps happening, you go to an adult and you go, hey, Johnny keeps putting his hands on me and this and that. And I guess any other spiritual elevated person would be like, and then you're just going to talk your way through it and this and that. But if you ask Blanche, I don't think that that's fully spiritual because that's still letting someone walk all over you who's not understanding your boundaries, even though it's a 5-year-old. So basically what happens is I go, hey, tell Johnny's to stop. Give Johnny 3 shots of warning. Then tell an adult. And then if Johnny doesn't listen, then there's a ripple effect, I'd like to call it. It's probably not the most spiritually evolved, but I do believe that it is effective, that Johnny has created the situation in which there is a reaction that he has originally caused to boomerang back to him so that he can learn his lessons in life. And who are we to stop Johnny's lessons? We're not. So I tell Ever that she's allowed to give the smackdown. I mean, maybe not punch him in the face, but she can figure out something, right? And these are the lessons we learn in life. Not to cry. So getting back to where we were before, that's just the mom in me. I'm here evolving. I'm not Gandhi. I'm just doing the best I can, raising a little warrior. Getting back to the story, in other ways this may show up for us is that, you have a client and the client keeps asking for more. Even though you've set boundaries, they want more of you. They want information, more support, more this, more that. And I think if you don't put up boundaries and if just say yes to keep the peace, you have to be able to say to them, listen, we've already agreed to this. Maybe I'll give you a little bit because that's just me trying to be a good business person. But if you want more of X, you have to pay Y. When we set boundaries, it is not being negative. It is not being mean. What it is honoring who you are. Whenever you honor the boundaries of who you are, you're basically saying, in order for us to be in a relationship, I have to feel good about it and you have to feel good about it. At any point that one of us doesn't feel good about it, we get to tell each other how we feel. That's being an adult, by the way. That's being an evolved human. And a lot of people forget to do that. They think that is shameful or I shouldn't speak up because it's going to ruffle feathers. That is usually toxic. And that's usually been ingrained in us, whether it's through family, through lineage, whatever. It's just something that we think, but it's not real. The minute that you put a boundary up and you tell somebody, this is what I will not accept, do you know what happens? The universe is like, yes, we were waiting for you to do this. And when you honor yourself and that boundary, more abundance opens, more beautiful things happen. And I'm not saying that other person is going to receive that exactly the way you think they are. They may not be there yet. They may not have evolved that far yet. They may take it like, oh my God, how dare you? That's on them. That has nothing to do with you. How people react to your boundaries, how people receive the information of you honoring yourself has nothing to do with you. Okay, I'll give you an example of this. I had a client. The client had asked us to do a certain type of work. We did the work. In fact, not only did we do the work, we went above and beyond. And I feel like we gave more than probably we should have. But I was like, okay, I feel like I honored this association. And in the end, when I was asked to finalize the proposal, the contract, the monies or whatnot, what do most people do? A lot of people, unfortunately, and we don't have this a lot of my clients pay really well and they pay on time. They kind of didn't pay us on time. They took a really long time to pay us, and that happens. But what happens usually in these circumstances is that as a business owner, you just kind of let it go. And you let it go and you're like, listen, I'm not going to say anything because, what am I going to say? And then when they do pay, you're just happy that they pay and you just keep going. If they give you more work, you're just like, hey, they're giving me more work. So I'm just happy for that. So what happens in that interaction, if I let it go like that, the same situation would keep arising and they wouldn't understand where my boundaries were. Well, when we ended up having a conversation, I explained my boundaries and I said that I was displeased with how the end of the project went, that that's not really how I do business. And I explained my feelings. I wasn't rude or derogatory, but I explained my feelings. They didn't take it well. They weren't happy about that. And we had finished the project and they ended up moving on. It didn't end in a warm and fuzzy feeling. But what did happen was I took back my energy. I put up a boundary and I said, listen, this is what I will not accept. And when I did that, I took my power back and it opened up my own energy to receive something more. And it also put a period at the end of the sentence. It said, okay, we're done with this. We're not doing this. And I retained my own sovereignty. Now, were they happy about it? I'm sure they walked away thinking like, wow, Blanche is a big bitch. Who knows if they were bad mouthing me and they were like, bah, 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 bah. But I know what I did was truthful. It was authentic. It was right. I handled myself with professionalism and I created my own boundary and I let them know where I stood. It's going to go either way. And you have to be okay with that. And so it's in these little interactions we have in relationships, personal or the professional relationships, that you get to decide. We think life happens with the big decisions. We think there's going to be like this major decision. It's like you're in a telenovela, you know what I mean? Where like they come in and they're like, Blanche, I don't think I can pay you anymore, but I want more information. You think that's going to happen, but it's not like that. It's literally a text message, a phone call like, hey girl, do you think if blah, 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 blah? And it's in that moment. I just want you to pause. This is your takeaway. In that moment, I want you to pause. I want you to take 3 deep breaths. And if you feel like you're being rushed into a decision, I want you to take a moment and say, you know what? Let me get back to you. Very simple. Let me get back to you gives you enough space to kind of get yourself together and collect yourself, think about it, and really react in a way that you feel like it's going to be in alignment. That's a good buffer. But either way, take those moments. You don't need to react at everything in the moment. When you're in that moment, your body freezes up. And I know a lot of people who can't make decisions very quickly and they freeze up and they'll just say whatever to make the other person feel good. I am also guilty of that. There are times when I just answer and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have agreed to that. And why did I do that? And it's kind of a muscle that you have to keep retraining in your body. So you're going to tense up. As soon as they ask you, your stomach's going to drop and you're going to feel it in the pit of your stomach. What I want to invite you to do, I want you to try this exercise when you're not being put on the spot. Don't start doing this as soon as they start asking you. Let's try doing this on your own. So I want you to think of a decision that you have to make. Maybe it's like at a level 5 on a 1 to 10. 10 being, do I jump off the building? It's about to explode. And 1 being, do I make a left and go to the park or a right and just go home? So as a level 5, you may say, I'm not sure if I'm going to invest in that fund, buy the car, whatever it is, right? I want you to think of the question. I want you to take 3 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And I want you to imagine a white light coming in through the nose. The white light is of certainty, and you're exhaling all of the doubt, all of the confusion. Do that 3 times. And then I want you to feel in your body when you ask the question where it sits. So I may say to myself, after I have 3 deep breaths, should I buy the $80,000 car that I know I can't afford? And when you ask yourself the question, I want you to understand and feel into your body where it resonates. For me, when it's a no, it's at the pit of my stomach. I feel it low, kind of heavy, a little icky. It's like a rock. When it's a yes, I feel it up in my solar plexus. It kind of like vibrates. My body starts to hum a little bit. And immediately I'm like, yeah, this feels right. This feels good. Remember that if it's not an absolute yes, it's usually a no. And sometimes we think that the decisions have the power and that there's no other option. That's like a mind game, right? There is never just one option. There is never just one car. There is never just, I have to make this one decision at this exact moment or things will explode. There are always options. You always have options. You always have time. It's usually never at a 10. There are times in life that your stress level and the decision is at a 10, but usually it's not at a 10. So I want you to feel into your body when that happens. If you do this enough times, you're going to start to recognize what it feels like. I'll give you a really easy example of this. I was thinking of hiring a consultant for my business. I had a few calls with them and I really liked them. I knew that when the time was right, I was probably going to go with them. So what happened is that we decided to set up another meeting, and every time that meeting was coming up, something got in the way. And you know what it's like. It's like a cancellation of this or that. That's usually the universe trying to let you know that it's not fully in alignment. Take a pause. The door is not fully open, okay? So I pay attention to things like that, and you should too. Because when things are meant for you, the ceiling opens, you hear music, it's like, you're like, I can't believe this just happened. I ran into you in the hallway, and then the person offered me the job, and then before you knew it, they had a car and I was on a yacht. You know, that's how usually that happens. It really does. But when it's like block after block and little like glitchy things, universe is like, I want you to pay attention to this one. So anyway, I get on the call and I'm talking to them, and they're saying the things that are right? They're saying the things that on paper sound right, but I have a feeling in the pit of my stomach. It feels like something feels off. I'm feeling tense. I don't like this feeling, but I thought it was supposed to be yes. Like I felt kind of yes, but now it's feeling no. And I really checked in with myself and I'm like, this is a no. This doesn't feel like yes. This feels like a no to me. Anyway, it's a story for you to understand what it feels like in your body and how to recognize that. And when you get that feeling, that's not you overthinking. You're not imagining things. You're not like, oh, you know what? I should just say yes anyway, because what if I don't find another consultant that wants to work with me ever again? It's like, that's not true and that's not real. And there are different avenues and paths that you can take. Maybe that door is showing you that it's a little shut because it's meant to go down another lane. Another door is supposed to open. These are the small decisions in life that lead you in a direction. Whenever we end up in a place, living in a home, in a city, with your partner, with 3 kids, 2 dogs, wherever you end up in life, those were a series of little decisions that you made. If you're not careful, you can end up with a life that you do not like, a life that's inauthentic, because it was made up of a lot of little decisions that you made on the spot when you gave your energy away. So choose wisely, because you are choosing what your life looks like tomorrow, right now. So here's our mantra for today. My energy is sacred and it is mine. When we use the mine, we pull back our energy from wherever it was. My energy is sacred and it is mine. Until next time, remember that your home remembers you.